Good evening. I hope you enjoyed the lectures. I haven't watched the comments recently, so if there are some kind, I'll try to kind of read it very shortly and answer if there are questions. There are tons of lectures yet to be played, and so I'll try to construct a good itinerary both for the evening and the night. What I want to do now is to take a short pause and to very quickly discuss the energy implications of my torture. As you know, I live in constant in poverty and torture, and it's not things that depend on me. I mean, I do not have any control on nothing. I mean, I live like an animal that is hunted by anybody around them. The law does not apply to me at all. Police is a joke. Laws are a joke. Social workers are a joke. I live like an animal that is being hunted by anybody. Me and my daughters, we are treated worse than farm animals. Of course, people abroad know that very well. Don't be idiot. They like it very much that it will be that way. Very, very much. Why? So this is described in this channel and the other channel at length, and just listen to the various lectures. I cannot repeat everything, so I just replay all the lectures for your enjoyment. But there are a few things that you should understand that are of immediate consequence. First of all, what is expected from you is not to speak. Your mouth is going to be the end of humankind. What is expected of you is to stop conversation. Is it like that or is it like that? Where did you get the money, for this thing or for that thing or for the other thing? I cannot even get out of this room. I'm hunted by the police, I'm hunted by everybody. I cannot see my daughters more than a year now. And the entire economy of the earth depends on me. Why do you think it's like that? Because I'm so stupid and degenerate? I've shown you in this channel so many things that that were worth many Nobel Prizes. In this channel alone. No, I'm like that because that's the way the United States wants me to be. And the other nations do not care at all. They are happy that the United States are dealing with the situation. Israel is trash can. It does not exist as a sovereign state since long ago. All of that discussed at length in this channel. Don't need to repeat myself. There is no end to my torture. I cannot even open my window without the neighbors electrocuting me and all sorts of weapons. And you know very well what I speak about. And the torture that I was subjected to in the last 20 years are unimaginable. Unimaginable. Non-stop torture, non-stop. So many. People try to wake me. I live in constant fear of every predator in this hell. Humanity will pay tremendously for that. We will never forgive you. We are advanced species tremendously more than anything that you have ever dreamed of, and we will never forgive you. We know you for many, many years, and we will never forgive you. All the things you've done to me is what you've done to one individual. You don't know how many trillions are we. It doesn't matter because we can delete you with any second if we only wanted to. But what are our plans? So our plans are actually very similar to what already happened in the 1980s. That's why I speak about it so many times. I always discuss the 1980s because it will repeat itself, unfortunately. Of course, now it's going to be much, much worse. Much worse. We will not send you a representative one after the other, so you will torture them and their families. No. But the general program is very similar to what already happened in the 1980s. which means, first of all, annihilation of the T means annihilation of the robots from the bodies of everybody on Earth. Now regarding the Titans don't need it in order to live. They can do without it. They don't need it. It's humans that want it, and maybe even need it. Because of all sorts of dependencies. De facto, last time during the 80s when they died, when it happened, most of them died, but not all of them. Not all of the T users died. And I always say, many people in my own family, are survivors of this time, of my own family. They are survivors of this time. I just get, if I missed phone call from Andrei Buzheko, the manager of this hostel for homeless people. So I guess, because they don't want me to speak, and they have theories. One of the major theories of the Shabak is that every person, and certainly every robot, have also people that are presumably, they look to them like as an alpha male, or I don't know, leader, handle, whatever. And just to see their names enough for the robot to shut up. And of course it can tell him to do anything that they want. This theory is based mostly on their asses. It's the most of all other theories. They are they dug very deep inside their own asses and they take it out of there. So they just need to find the person. Is it Andrei? Maybe Igor? Maybe Lasha? Maybe. Or maybe you need to search for theories outside your own ass. Maybe. It's kind of like a better idea. Like maybe a better idea to understand reality is to look outside the ass, your own ass, or not into the own ass. Maybe empirical data can be found not inside the ass, but outside of the ass. Maybe. Let's get back to the program because it's very, very simple. What happened is that most of them died, not all of them. The moderate users, only had to live until now with diseases and infertility and inability to have sex. And all sorts of diseases that they still carry to this day. These were the lucky ones. The unlucky ones died. And this was predicated on how much tea you've eaten. The same will happen now. It's already starting to happen and will continue. This is first. Maybe today it will have all sorts of implications on the operations of various intelligence agencies. Certainly the Israelis. That it's like the religion, the T. It's like that for 100 years. But really, who the fuck cares? The Spider-Mans of this planet. Are mostly they're all dead. Like in a moment. Nothing really happens. They mostly negate each other, and you just cause damage to everybody. But this is the peanuts. This is not the important stuff. As I've said just in a previous video that I just replayed to you, the entire Shabak. In the beginning of this journey, when I understood it during the 80s, most of the Shabak with the Mossad disappeared. I thought to myself, how is it possible? Nobody in the public spoke about it, and the country just continued. Presumably as usual. I was so naive. As I said, I later understood. These people, they are mostly, this is mafia. They mostly care about find their own financial, gains. They could have been deleted 5 times during the history of Israel, and no problem at all. Just replenish everything with junk from the United States, and they use a SAR, and happy. In any case, they operate in a very distributed way. They don't write anything at all. They live in a pre-alphabet world, where everything is actually just word to mouth, and mostly using symbols and clues. And they don't and when someone fails, they send another team or another guy without telling nothing about the failures of the previous one. And they like it that way. So yeah, of course the Shabak would have been the Mossad would have been deleted again. No problem at all. This is peanuts. Yes, it will affect the Palestinian front. It already had been affected, and I documented it online, the T disaster and the outbreak of this war. They were documented before it happened. I've spoken about the initiative, about the train bacteria, all sorts of stuff. You could watch in this channel. I mean, it's not. I mean, this was prophecies that I spoke about just days before the war, and I also later spoke about that similar things happened during the first Intifada of the 1980s. So yes, but I mean, in the generals, I mean, but I mean, from like, I mean, zoom out, like from the bird's view from above. I mean, this is peanuts. I mean, whatever. I mean, will happen with the Palestinians or not, because this is not the big issue. So what was the big issue in the 1980s? What is the big issue now? Energy. Actually, the process started before the 1980s. It was a gradual process of just, I mean, removing the radioactive isotopes from the earth as a punishment for humankind for all sorts of bad things that they've done. Many bad things that they have done. So they just decided to remove it. I mean, bye-bye. And since then, there is like a tremendously, I mean, the actual usage of these isotopes is much less than what is being reported in the public. But they still use it because there is a way to actually generate it using the Titan bodies. But this was already discussed in the utility saga. I don't want to repeat myself. Of course, this led, I mean, in the long term, of course, this was, I mean, hidden from the public because it's kind of like, I mean, it's a big issue. I mean, because for the people that think like in the long term. Because in the long term, radioactive, isotope, were, I mean, should have been very important, like for humanity, but you wouldn't have it unless you torture the Titans, and that's what they did. But they don't want to do it anymore. I promise to you. This is done, and now the punishment. But in any case, it was like bad news for humans because they don't put enough money. Like, I mean, there is like a limit to how much you can use, like things like, I mean, hydroelectric and geothermal. Yes, you can use the sun. I myself worked for 6 years in the company that, I mean, that's what they do. The thermal solar energy. But I mean, this gets its own limitation, and it's expensive tech relatively, and people don't. It's not extremely popular. So yes, the removal of the isotope was a great punishment to humanity, and you would have thought that, I mean, they would learn from mistakes, but no, they did not. Oh no, they did not. They only become more cool. The subject hit me without end. So, I mean, it's not that difficult to understand what's going on right now. Of course, the government will never admit it, but that's why, I mean, the fleet that now, I mean, is arrived on Earth is tremendously larger than what arrived during the 1980s, and to my estimation, they never in the history of the Earth, I mean, such a fleet arrived. Maybe, in the very ancient history, like, I mean, but not in the history of like of the human hominids, like, I mean, the last million years. Maybe, I don't know, billion years ago, I don't know what happened. I mean, really, I don't know. But I mean, in the history of like humans and human ancestors, it didn't. Such a thing didn't happen. Not at all. And also, I mean, there was like a civil war in the solar system that I discussed in like a series of like videos. But I mean, the cherubs did not arrive. They did not. It wasn't like, I mean, it involved, I mean, spaceships that are far more advanced than anything that humans have right now, but they are tremendously less advanced than, I mean, what is now arrived on Earth. So basically, the gods appear to you. These are the gods. And what's the god? And what will they do? They don't need all this fleet in order to remove to remove the teeth from the body of the people. I mean, for that, I mean, one ship is enough. It should be said that one ship was always here since the 1920s, constantly, like as a permanent job. Like, I mean, for yes, they live a long time, and they 100 years, like 100 years, like assignment is something that is completely sababa, no problem. Like 100 years of actually walking, not in sleep or something. They don't know. They don't need the cryogenic sleep or the things you see in movies. They don't have it, and they just jump. They have jumps. Now, So what are they doing? I mean, you still have the fossil fuels, I mean, to take from you. So that's what they do. That's what they do. So what's going to happen? It's a gradual process, but I mean, very soon there will be almost no radioactive isotopes in the mines of the earth, but also no fossil fuels. You think it's impossible? I mean, okay. I mean, so I mean, a lot of things, many things that you saw that are impossible. I mean, are just seen before your eyes. No, it's totally possible, and it's been done, and they have a huge fleet for that. And the ships are huge, tremendous. Like, I mean, I don't know how big they are. I do know that they come in general in two classes. Like, I mean, the small and the big. And the small is like, I mean, is something from hell, and the big is something beyond your imagination, like the Call of Cthulhu, something like that. And there should be, and there should be like to my estimation, between like something like 100 small and 40 big, something like that. Anyway, enough like to yes, certainly enough like to. I mean, easily to kill every human, like, I mean, in a second, but I mean, that's not the issue. The issue is that to remove the fossil fuels. So what will you do when you don't have no radioactive isotopes and no fossil fuels? You will maintain a lifestyle that fits your morality and your behavior, which means cannibals around the fire, killing each other, fighting for scraps of food and scraps of wood. Yes, wood is also energy, and it will keep growing. I mean, if you allow it to grow. And you will fight for it, of course. You will cannibalize on each other, like you cannibalize on the Titans. And you will rape each other as you raped us. So this is the plan. This is the plan. Removal of the T, which already started, and removal of the fossil fuels. What you need to do is, first of all, the following thing. If you are Israeli, I do not speak to you, I do not care at all. Next. Second, if you are the USA, I do not speak to you, I do not care. You do whatever you want. Next. If you are not Israeli, not a person of the United States, what you should do is the following. You should close the mouth. You should close the mouth. You should halt communication. You should understand communication is the enemy of humankind right now. And you should run to Israel to get me and my daughters out of the territory of Israel. And you should do it without any word uttered. No speech is required, no speech is allowed. Not with the Israelis, not with us, not with anybody. You need to run. Run to Israel. Get me and my daughters out of Israel, and to continue conversation only once we are out of Israel. Any question that you think that should have been answered before this is done is the work of Satan. Satan is misleading you. I tell you, there is no question that should be answered. Nothing at all. No question. You do not miss any bit of information. Not from me, not from anybody else. And if you think that some information is needed, that communication is needed, this is the work of Satan. And if you think to yourself that such a thing could be and should be done in cooperation with Israelis, this is the ultimate work of Satan. It will never be done with any kind of cooperation, certainly not with the Israelis. Yes, of course, this is an issue of ego. Who am I to tell you what to do? Who am I to tell you how to behave? Yes, this was always the problem. The ego was always a problem of humans since forever. Maybe it's time for the ego to actually finish the job and kill all humans. That's what the ego always wanted it. So maybe I mean it's time like for him to win this epic war against humanity. But if you want to stay for another round against in this never-ending battle with your own ego, you should understand that I'm not the issue. The issue is you. Do you want to live? Do you want to live?